won 3 times.
Like you won. You won something, right?
3 times in a row.
3 times in a row. All right. All right. Who was the egg? How did that make you feel? Being the egg like a loser? Like a loser? Okay.
Had something to prove.
All right. And then how about the chicken? Yeah? How did that make you feel? Anything?
I'm great.
Winner.
You're the winner because you weren't an egg, right? Because you weren't an egg, but you weren't quite supreme being, right? All right. Okay. So that exercise is, yes, for all these reasons: to get us up on our feet, to get us loosened up, to also kind of like break the ice, make you all feel a little bit more comfortable. But also, it's also saying something about roles being put on us, right? Like the roles that we put on ourselves. Like who said how you had to feel about being an egg? Who said how you had to feel about being a chicken, how that had to be about supreme being, right? So I did set it up, right, in a way where it was like supreme being, right? But that's kind of leading into what I'm going to talk about today. All right. So this is going to get real, like 200%, like right now. Because I want to respect everyone's time, and I appreciate all of you coming here. So it's been 5 years since I got in my car and made the trip out west. And come on in. Hello.
Come in.
More family members. Hi, what's up?
Comfortable, guys. Oh.
What's up? Hi.
Apa
Cool
ni?
hair.
Apa ni?
Hi.
Apa ni? I work hard too. Hey, apa ni? Good job.
Good.
Yes,
Hi.
good job.
There was a lot of stuff going on inside of me that I was not aware of. And I think lots of times in life, there's stuff that's happening to us that sometimes we're aware of, but because of other voices or other things happening to us, we kind of like push it to the side, right? Or we don't know how to handle it. We don't know how to face it. So we stuff it down, right? So for me, I was out in LA and I was enjoying the sunshine, just like they say, enjoying the ocean, beautiful, everything's nice, and it is, I mean, it really is, I'm not joking. But inside, I started to recognize that I was broken. I had done a lot of things to make me happy. I had done a lot of things to make me proud, but there's still stuff inside. I like Rocky Balboa. In one of his movies, it might be Rocky Balboa actually. He says there's still his brother-in-law says there's still stuff in the basement. Right? There's still stuff in the basement. I was trying to figure out how to like have a job, make money. I was trying to figure out, how to find friends, how to, find someone, to accompany me, a partner. Just there are things that I wanted in my life that weren't there, and I really think that it's important to, in the work that I do now, it's important to be transparent about these things. It's important to admit, yeah, I'm broken. There's things about me that I don't like about myself, but I can't figure out what it is. And so this is 5 years later, going on year 6 in LA. And so when I was planning on coming back, we were talking about that, Christmas, my sister Janet and her family might not be able to make it because they're gonna take a trip to California. Anyways, that we had to figure out where we're gonna do Christmas. So Christmas might not be in Minnesota. So I said to my mom, well, maybe I should come earlier. And she said, okay, how about sometime in the fall? I said, okay. Yeah, no snow. And just by chance, I got a postcard in the mail by the organization that Nancy works at, my other sister, Asian Women United, and they had a fundraiser, which when I was living here, I always wanted to go. It's for a good cause, supporting domestic violence, domestic abuse, and we had a great time that night. So I figured out, okay, well, in this 6 days, not even a week, I'm going to go to this event, I'm going to see some people, but I also want to do some sharing, I want to do some talk. Maybe next year or whenever the next time I come here, this can be a big thing. I envision this to be a big thing where people from all parts of Minnesota can come together and I can share and can play games and activities. But today was a little reunion, so we can get some time together and then get interactive talk. So I was on the plane and I was listening to my favorite podcast. It's called On Purpose by Jay Shetty. He had the actor Zachary Levine, the movie Shazam. He had him on the podcast, and I listened to it, and I really like what this actor is doing because he's sharing a lot about his trauma. He's sharing a lot about mental health and wellness and how important it is. And I love what he says. I love how he presents things because I think it's a lot like me. He's very energetic, even our hair is kind of similar. But he really pays attention to the three things that are a part of what I created, Unleash the Beast, which is mind, body, and spirit. You gotta have all three. It's important as a human being, as a sentient being. These three things are so important, right? So when I do my talks, I like to have the audience keep the flow going. Because I learned in acting and in theater that when people come to a show, the more you can get them interactive, the better it is. And it always is. Yesterday at the senior home, it was fantastic. I got to see all these people talking. This is what I do. This is what I love. So I like to use the word wounded warriors. It's hard to take it, but that's what I'm here for. Right? I think that we're all wounded warriors in some way. I think at some point in our lives, we have another way is like tortured souls. Right? Just being human, I think we have some stuff that we may not like. Just because we're human, I think there's things that we don't understand and we're trying to figure out, but we don't know how all the time. And lots of times, it comes in the form of pain. I've been more and more comfortable facing my pain, facing the things that make me uncomfortable through my training in martial arts and boxing. And that's where, for me, that's where the transformation started. I was out in LA and I was having these emotions, these kind of sadness, feeling alone, feeling shameful. And then I met my instructor, his name's Morpheus Black, and he started taking me under his wing. He started training me his style, which we now call bloodline hybrid boxing. And it's some pretty amazing stuff. But just the foundation of boxing really helped me understand that pain is something that we all in life need to embrace. I think that the world that I grew up in had it wrong. I was raised to think like, oh, that's uncomfortable, don't do that. That's not working, don't do that. That's not what your ideal thing is, don't do that. That's gonna hurt, that's gonna cause you pain, don't do that. Everything was like running away from that thing that I think we actually need. So I've been learning to be more embracing the pain and being uncomfortable. Sometimes you watch some of the great boxing fights, the great ones, the golden era of boxing, the 70s, 80s, right? Right, Tommy Hearns. You're watching and these guys are like, pow, 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 and they're like exchanging hits. And it's like, oh, how do these guys do this? right? But it's interesting because that's all part of the strategy. That's all part of the process, right? Some more than others, right? Nowadays you got the Mayweather. Mayweather, he's like dodging all the punches, right? But I learned something valuable about that. I learned that part of life is pain, and that's okay. So, here's the thing. A lot of people choose to cover the things that hurt them. A lot of people choose to cover the things that are uncomfortable. They don't want to look at those things. I think Keith touched on a lot of good points. Right? I like to use vices, right? So people, they feel shameful. They may feel angry. They may feel sad. They may feel stressful. We may get lonely. We may feel desperate for love, to be heard or to be seen. That's one of my favorite words, is to be seen. Like when I tell people, I see you, I hope you see me. But we turn to vices. Okay? Vices are things that we do that probably aren't good for us, but we still do them. So can we just start shouting out some forms of vices? They may be vices that come from your life, or they may be vices that you just know somebody has. There's no right or wrong. Can I just hear some? Yes.
TV.
Oh, wait, what?
Television.
Television. Okay. Yes. There's a show I want to watch, and I'm gonna go home and watch it after work. I'm tired. I'm gonna go home and watch it, and then the next day, you know what? I'm tired after work, so I'm gonna go home and watch it. Then the next day, you know what? I'm gonna go home. I'm tired. I'm gonna go watch it. Next one. Envy. All right. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Just like if you're always jealous of someone's success.
Right. Especially in this culture that we live in. I am on Instagram. I do like Instagram, but I have some friends that have been, like one of my colleagues, he is a music manager for artists. And he came to work one day and he said, I took myself off Instagram. I said, why? I'm like, that's like your part of your bread and butter. He's like, I kept on getting in the habit of looking at other people's lives, right? I did that for a while. And that's why sorry if I don't follow some friends anymore, but I just post stuff now. But yeah, envy, you can envy. And in the culture that we live in, social media, like you can instant gratification, like I see your life, oh, I want that. Or, oh, so-and-so went here, oh, so-and-so has money, so-and-so has this job, right? Envy. What else? Anything else? Anything? Yeah, drugs? Was it?
Blame.
Blame. Okay? So you keep blaming people, right? Blaming people for yeah, go ahead.
Well, what's interesting about blame is once you blame someone else for a problem, you forfeit your own mental energy to fix that problem. Essentially, you have to ask their permission to fix it for you.
Right. Okay, so that's another one. Blame. Anyone else? Drugs, substance abuse, alcohol, violence. I've met a couple of people, you know, unfortunately their relationships where they're abused. And trying to figure that out. Sex, many things. What's that? Suicide? I think thoughts of suicide, yeah. I can keep going, you can keep going, right? The bottom line is, the more that we keep doing those things that don't work, the more that we numb ourselves, and the more I like to use the word access, the less access that we get to these things. Right? Because we keep doing the same thing, and then we just keep doing it, and it starts to become automatic. It starts to become a pattern. It starts to become a behavior and a habit. And then it's hard for us to access these things, like feeling itself. Great, that's great. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Like, why can't I just, when I am enough, like I'm going to be very bold here. Again, when I do my talks, there's no censorship. I allow, all the above. I know somebody who uses sex as a way to compensate how they feel about themselves. Okay? And this person is having a hard time finding something, so they keep going out. Right? So what's wrong with that? Is that wrong to fulfill your needs? Can you say more about that? Can you say more?
Each person, their own mind, what they want to do. If you think that it's a little bit, not everything bad.
Yeah. Anyone else? Like, why is that a bad thing? Why can't I live my life like whenever I feel not good about myself, I'll just go call up somebody and like let's go have sex.
Is that really fixing the problem? Or is it just masking it?
Or is it
Until next
masking
time.
Right? Okay.
They're all like a Band-Aid. We bought a house 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and as we were going through it, I noticed that there was this like here, in the ceiling, the kitchen. We tore it away. Turns out there's drywall behind the drywall. Another layer of drywall behind the drywall. Another layer of drywall behind that. All rotted away because there was a leak.
Mm.
4 layers of drywall that completely rotted away the structure. If you don't take care of something, you just keep layering it. You just take care of it.
I love that metaphor. A leak that, what did you say?
It was rotting away the structure.
A leak that was rotting away at the structure. That is, can I use that sometime? Yeah. That's fabulous. Thank you. That might go on social media tonight. Okay, no. Awesome. Is everyone with me? Yeah? Okay. All right, cool. So, if it makes you happy, if you're fine with it, then by all means do it, right? But if there's something there that you're neglecting, if there's something there that you're ignoring, and it hurts and it tears you apart, that's why I'm really grateful. I've had some really good conversations with close friends, and I'm like, oh, this person's good. And then all of a sudden, tears come out, the wall comes down, and it's like, you know what, I'm really not good, and this is why. And this is what real relationships is about. So, bear with me, I'm gonna get even more intense here. Okay. So I'm not attacking anyone, okay? But it's something that I'm beginning to process. So, if we are all wounded warriors, that means at some point in our lives, whether when we were young or most of the time it's when we're young, we start taking in, we start programming, whether someone does it upon us or we choose to do it, we start accessing this way of looking at life, right? I was just talking to Mom the other day in the car saying, with a parent and child, lots of times the adults assume that we know the answer, right? And I'm not a parent, and I don't dare try to assume that I do know, but I think we need to be careful because lots of times what we're doing to the child is we're programming them based on our program, right? And you never know until years later how that affects them, right? So lots of times people talk about trauma. Lots of times the trauma most of the time comes from a young age. So how you are accessing these things, what you are being told is okay versus not okay.
Okay, right there, we got cut out about just talking about we're told what we can do and what we can't do. That puts us into a program which we continue on until we make the decision or we realize the decision that we have to make a change. I shared a quote from one of my favorite books, and that was, if we are to make a change, we must do something we've never done before.
All right, it's not my quote. I got it from my favorite book, You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. And I'm saying this out of love and compassion and empathy. But there are things that probably your parents and their parents gave you that you struggle with, that you fight against, that you are still trying to figure out, how do I change that? How do I reprogram myself? And that's okay. But the important thing to do is to recognize that, like, it's a choice, right? Being human is a choice. Every day you're making choices. So are you going to choose to follow the repetition, the things that aren't working? Or are you going to start doing things differently? Now, the hard thing about doing things differently, you hit on that, is it's not easy. It gets you out of that. You're uncomfortable, right? So I started noticing things that my parents gave me. And even talking to my close friends, they reminded me, like, you know what? They didn't give you this, but they damn how gave you that. So this right here that they didn't give you, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? But it has to come from a place of love and empathy, right? Because it wasn't their fault, just like it's not your fault. And I think that's the hardest thing, is to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, these things that I don't like, these things that aren't working, it's nobody's fault. Okay? So I wanted to say that the important thing, I put on 2 minutes. The important thing is that you're here. You're still here. Starting right here, right now, you have an opportunity to live life the way that you always wanted to. You just have to start reprogramming. And that's why first level Unleash the Beast is the mind. Because you can train the body, but the mind will always get you. Right? So I want to leave with a couple points, but I want to paint you a picture. So all of us are on this path. We're all doing things. And sometimes we fight against this path. Sometimes the little voice says, like you're not good at this, or like you suck at this, or this is like, what's wrong with you? And then sometimes the voice is, you're pretty awesome, you're pretty amazing, you're on the right path. We go back and forth. So what I want to encourage you is to look at the path and recognize that this is your path, and whatever has happened to you, it has happened to you. Right? And then that's where the third component, the spirit. Right? I'm not going to say Christianity, I'm not going to say Buddhism, I'm not going to say Baha'i, I'm not going to say Quran or Muslim, right? I'm not going to say any of that. It's your path. But I try to encourage people that there's, if you allow it, there's something being worked on, right? You have to trust it. You have to trust that your process, your path, you're going to figure it out. But you have to choose how you think, how you act, right? How you interact, right? So there are things that have helped me, but if I can choose to live my life with an opportunity to have more excitement, more joy, more feeling like, I don't like to use the word good anymore, but I'll use the word good for now, but feeling good, right? If I have the choice to have those feelings versus those other feelings that I was mentioning before, sad, worry, stress, anxiety, anger, right? I will definitely do whatever I have to do to live the life full of joy. So that is why I am doing what I'm doing now, because I really care about people. And I really want people to feel love. I really want people to enjoy their life as much as possible. Because, as we hit on, this is it. So for me, I don't have as much stress. I don't have as much worry. I don't have as much anxiety. I don't compare myself as much. Still work in progress. There's definitely still things I'm dealing with. But I've learned to love myself so much more. And by loving myself, I've learned to equip myself with these tools to make better choices, to make healthier choices. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard because you don't recognize it. Like one thing is getting rid of toxic people in your life. That can be hard, especially if you want that so bad, but it's not the right fit. You gotta learn to. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of their time. We're moving forward. Orpheus used to talk about we're on this train, the Pete Wong train. You know, you guys call me Wongway. The Wongway train. It's gonna stop every once in a while. It's gonna open up its doors. Who's going in? It's moving. You gotta get it. You know, you already got a ticket. I already gave you a ticket. You gotta get it. Right? But if people can't get on that train, that's okay. We still respect them and love them, but they're just not on this train. They're on a different path. They chose a different, they chose the red line versus the yellow line. Okay. So there's a couple points, and this isn't a workshop, okay? It's just a talk. The workshop, I would actually get us doing these exercises a little bit more. So I just want to leave you guys with a couple things. So love yourself. Do whatever it is to love yourself. It's so important. I think I'm 40, and I realize now how important these words are. Love yourself. Can't say it enough. And I'm not shy, I'm embarrassed to talk about that anymore. Part of that is forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for the things that you feel shameful. Forgive yourself for the would've, could've, should'ves. Okay? Can't do anything about that. Live in the moment. Moment to moment to moment. Right? As a human being, I've really learned to just be very present. And sometimes if you don't know how to do that, just turn yourself off for a little bit and just observe. The world, the people in your world, in your life, they'll tell you. And something even better, even though you turn off, your body is still on. So your body will tell you how to feel. So listen to that too. Listen to your body. That's another point. But listen to your body. You know, I'm a mind and body coach because I recognize like how important the body is as a human being. There's something, an intuition, a connection, a surrealistic connection that's already ingrained us at birth. You know, it will last us until we die. So pay attention to that thing. And the third thing is breathe. Okay. So I did this yesterday. I wasn't gonna do it today, but you know what? We had so much fun with it yesterday, so we're gonna do it today. So we're gonna do a breathing exercise. Again, I have so much more stuff to share, but I just wanted to give this today to you. We're gonna do a breathing exercise. Okay. It's a combination of different things, you know, I just picked up. So if everyone could just sit in their chair, back straight. So as one of the seniors told me yesterday, chest out, that helps. Shoulders back, okay? I like to send the butt back. Where's my guy, John? John, can you explain the structure a little better for everyone, just because you got your knowledge? Yeah.
I would just describe it as, you know when you go to the doctor and they slide that thing down to see how tall you are? And like, I remember being a teenager and being like, today I'm gonna be 6 feet tall. And really like trying to lengthen that spine as much as I could. Just do that. Push your butt back and then get the spine as long as you can.
There you go, okay?
That's the best height today.
Yes, the best that you can do, okay? Because again, it's training those muscles too. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna breathe from our nose, and you can either breathe out of your nose or breathe out of your mouth. But if you are gonna breathe out of your mouth, 2 fingers wide. Okay, not more than 2 fingers wide. Okay, we don't want to waste all that. Okay, and you can close your eyes if you want. We're just gonna do this 3 times, and then I'm just gonna say a few words, and then that'll be it. So we're gonna breathe in, deep breath in. Exhale. Okay, this next one, when you exhale, go ahead and make a sigh sound. Basically, make a little sound. Whatever sound that comes out of your mouth, make it. Ready? But relax every muscle. Ready? Inhale. Big inhale. Exhale. One more. Here we go. Last one. Make it a big exhale. Okay, all the stuff that we talked about today, we're gonna let it go. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. And then just take a moment. What I like to do is, whenever I take a moment in the day, do a little breathing. I like to just take 3 deep breaths. And I just like to be present. Just like to recognize my environment, recognize myself, and recognize that you are here. You are still here. Open your eyes, let it close, shake it out. Right? So hopefully that helped a little bit. I hope you'll be able to continue practicing that. If you would like more things, please send me a message. Continue supporting what I do. I'm really enjoying this lifestyle, helping people mentally, health and wellness, mind, body, and spirit. But hopefully some of the stuff that I had to share with you resonated, and you can take it into the rest of your next moment. So I just wanted to thank everyone for coming here today. It means a lot. I love you all. Hopefully I'll come back sooner. Whatever you need, please always know you can turn to the people that are closest to you in your life, right? But also, the new thing that I'm learning is you can turn to your ancestors that are no longer here. That's another conversation. But I just want to thank you, and 3 things. You are enough, you are loved, and you are, oh shoot, I had it. You are loved, you are enough, you are worthy. Right? Thank you, and we'll still be here for another hour. But thank you everyone for being here. Now you see what I do in LA, and the plan is internationally. I have a book that's coming out. It's called Being Phenomenal. It's helping people access to be in their nature more. And thanks to Uncle Don, he was the one that suggested that I write the book. And I'm working on self-publishing it right now, and I'm really proud of that. And just working on manifesting the life that I've always wanted to live. And it's really helped me. When my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, it really helped me help her and just be present. And I love the life that I live now because I'm confident, but I'm also very aware of things, and I'm in tune a lot more. So I wish all the best for you, and anything that I can do, please let me know. And thanks.
Woo!